Hey guys, welcome to Analog Dialogue. What's going on?
Not too much.
Yeah,
Hanging out.
hanging out, getting ready to chat. Thanks for having us here, Brody.
Yeah, it's great to
Yeah.
have you. So just before we get things going, I like to start out every episode with the same question. For those watching who've never heard of you guys or what you do, could you describe your presence in the arts industry?
Sure. I
Yeah,
can start. I can take a stab at
take the
this to
field
begin.
out.
Maybe you can follow up, Kurt, around the back. We are duo singer-songwriters, Luke Honsberger and Kurt Dunn of the Ferns. Um, we are like an indie rock band doing like jangly dance guitar-based rock music. Um, and that's kind of our place in the arts industry is independent musicians trying to make our way through the online digital scape uh, you know as an artist,
Yeah,
as artists.
summed it up. Couldn't have said it better myself, Luke.
It's
Yeah,
good.
like yeah, I mean that it's sort of it. I'm jumping. I'm already jumping around with my questions here, but like you guys have uh like a pretty good presence on the internet, right? And it seems like that's sort of like you're very aware of that. Um and like there's a lot of comedy in the way that you promote your band. So I guess like what got you doing that sort of style of like promotion and way to sort of boost your the profile of the band.
I think it just kind of happened. I don't know, Luke and we have problems with taking ourselves seriously, I guess. Like it's just very funny to promote yourself and to be in a group. So I don't know. I feel like whenever we get together, it just becomes like a joke anyways. So it kind of just carried over into our promotion.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, we try a big thing we always kind of talked about ourselves as entertainers. And especially like in our
Mm,
live show, we try to keep people's interests even when the songs are done. So that'll either be with some banter or, a little joke here and there. So yeah, that kind of carried over into our promotional stuff as well.
yeah. Was that a
Hmm.
conscious decision?
I
like
think
like to
so.
like to like to to keep the sort of energy in the room going in between songs? Was that like something that you like took some time and thought about?
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, there's like many times I think, Brody, you could probably attest to this, like seeing a band live and then they finish the song, and then they all look down, they start tuning the guitars, and then everyone in the audience is kind of like,
It just flashes out. Yeah. You could
it
be,
Yeah.
yeah,
just
you're just really, you get into a song and you're really grooving along to it. And then like after that song is done, it's like it just drops.
Right.
mhm.
So we really wanted to try and keep something going on.
And then the same thing with the online uh like promoting, I guess, when it comes to injecting comedy into it. It's very funny to talk about it like from such a sterile point of view,
Yeah.
but like uh
It's always funnier when you dissect comedy. So
yeah,
that's
Yeah,
uh
yeah, that makes it funnier.
get ready
yeah,
to laugh.
see what makes it bleed. I think there's like you'll just see like promotions all the time. It's like people in black and white with their arms crossed, being like, "This is the future of music," and then it's like you. I no, I guess I'm kind of pooping on those people, and I don't mean to, but it's like it's just not very effective. And it like Kurt said, it's funny to promote yourself in a weird way because it really feels like you're just like selling yourself, and that feels weird sometimes. I think like commodifying your art and whatever. So you almost got to laugh at it. I guess that's why the comedy bit kind of took over.
Well, and I guess you
Yeah.
kind of know like a majority of the time it'll be people who have seen you before or like your friends, and it's just kind of silly to keep going to your friends and being like, oh, please come out to the show. So like you try and jazz it up for the people who kind of know you, or if they don't, then it's something zany for them to see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I'm curious about like the length of your songs. right? A lot of the music that you guys write, like the songs tend to be pretty short. Um, you don't sort of take too much time in each sort of section of the tune, right? If you're to break it down to like verse, chorus, bridge sort of thing, like it still has that typical song structure, but it's really snappy and sort of like to the point. Is that something that you guys do on purpose, or is that just sort of how the ideas come to mind?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're just really lazy. If we can get it done in 2 minutes, why not?
There will be a time where we've got like an idea and then we go, okay, yeah, so we'll do that. We do the intro, verse, chorus, and we'll stick another chorus or verse, repeat the chorus twice, and that'll be it.
It is very formulaic.
Yeah.
When we start thinking about like how we write our songs, there's been many an argument, or not argument, impassioned debate that Kurt and I've had about whether a bridge is necessary in a song, like a middle eight or whatever. It's like, what is this going to add to the song? Do people want this, or do they just want to get to the next song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a few like, and this is like, I mean, I guess kind of a lot of our approach to music is kind of a reaction to other bands. And I want to be clear, we're not putting those bands down. We're not, saying that it's crap. We just saw things in other bands and we thought, okay, well, how about we try it this way instead? So I know a lot of the times, like, yeah, Luke and I, and it's even just music that we like to listen to. It's usually singer-songwriter groups, just really short and concise pop songs. So that's just kind of what we set out to do.
Yeah, we're not like Radiohead or Genesis or anything. Like we don't really have the chops to make a 5-minute song like worth listening to. Like where we're going to be introducing these cool, crazy sonic ideas like every 30 seconds. That it's like, okay, like it's worth sticking around for 5 minutes to listen to this. Like a lot of the songs we couldn't really justify being longer than 2 to 2.5 minutes before it's like, okay, you're just repeating the same ideas over and over. So it kind of just makes sense to end them shorter.
And I always thought I'm more likely to go back and listen to a song if I hear the chorus twice rather than 6 times, which kind of is a boon in the streaming age, because then that kind of gives you a little bit more plays.
Yeah, Drake copied us like so hard, man.
That's right. Well, and we saw that too with Old Town Road, which is a great song, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how all songs are going. I think when we first started writing, like it was already beginning. I mean, singles have been 2 minutes for decades. Like it's not like we're really crazy for doing that, but it kind of just spoke to our songwriting sensibilities and like what made sense to us.
Yeah. So when you think about other artists that influence you, like who comes to mind?
No one.
No one. Yeah, it's all original. It's all up here.
Sorry, that was
no one else makes music like us.
Yeah, so many. We always say REM, right? That's like a really big one for us.
Kind of the one that if you haven't heard us, it's kind of like that. We have like jangle-pop REM, the Smiths, but then even that's born from 60s groups like the Kinks or even the Beatles. Stereotypical to say, but they're great pop songs. Yeah, I would say it's born out of that. Like Paul Simon, just really good writing songs.
Yeah, our lyrics, we kind of take a lot from like that 90s like postmodern sort of I don't want to say holier than thou, but like our lyrics tend to be kind of snidey. Sometimes
we've been described as sardonic.
Wow.
So, self-described.
Yeah. Word of the day. Look it up if you don't know what it means.
Yeah. It's an amalgamation of like 80s and 90s stuff, along with like there's a lot of modern bands that we like as well. We always really admired Hooded Fang from Toronto. Yeah. And you hate to admit it, but Mac DeMarco, he had such a huge influence on like, at least for me anyways, in songwriting, because he was doing that 2-minute stuff as well, like before we even started as the Ferns. So like that kind of movement, like that like hazy, chorusy stuff that came out like 2012-ish era,
Yeah.
I'd say.
What about like other disciplines of art? Like do you find that like other, yeah, like any other discipline has affected what you do, whether it's songwriting or just in, you know, going back to the sort of way that you promote or lyric writing, right?
I think
Mm.
like thinking of other disciplines, I think for like the videos that we did, I when we first started, I was really getting into Vic Berger. If you know him, he does a lot of like re-edits of like Jim Baker, or especially like during the 2016 presidential election, would just take things and just re-edit them in a very weird way, kind of off kilter. So he was kind of an influence to do stuff like that, just for video wise. That's the only example that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Can we swear, Brody?
Yeah, go for
Or
it.
you can
Okay.
censor it.
Um, no, but like that sort of like 4chan shit posting mentality as well, which is like just kind of like making something like really inane and kind of silly, and then just like putting it out as much as you can. I mean, things have slowed down with the pandemic, obviously, but uh, before we were kind of just like any idea that we kind of had when it came to promotion, kind of just like threw it out there and saw if it stuck. And that sort of like shit posting mentality, um, we I think we kind of went with a little bit. Um, Not to say that we didn't put any thought into what we were putting out, but it was more just like, let's see what sticks. Um, yeah. What was the question?
Discipline, other disciplines.
Oh,
Do other
I love
disciplines, yeah.
jazz, but I don't think it influences us very much.
No, I
But
can hear a definite jazz influence in our 2 minute, 1.5 minute songs where we have where there is
yeah,
no solos.
yeah, we take a lot of things for a walk.
Yeah.
You can hear the influence of giant steps on literally every song we've written.
Everything. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, so recently you guys, I guess if you want to say partnered, but or sort of joined the, you know, the new label, Routine Exploits, and that sort of seemed like a really, um, like not an obvious move, but like a really good fit, like just based off of what like Matt Jekyll's, like what he does, um like what kind of like promotion that he does feels very similar to what you guys put out. So how has that partnership like affected the band?
Um, well, yeah, it just seemed like a very good fit. I mean, we've always kind of we get along with Matt very well. Kind of our senses of humor and interests kind of match up. And we've always kind of collaborated with him in some way or another, or eventually have come back to working with him. He actually approached us with this idea, and yeah, we decided to check it out, and it's been a help because he's been kind of he's really good at keeping up with things. Where it's like Luke and
Yeah,
I will kind of just like, okay, we released it, we'll post here and there, and then that'll, that's it. But Matt will be like, okay, like remember to do this or do that. Like he's just a
Yeah.
very creative person that always seems to have something on the go. Um,
hmm
but he's also really weird, and he's fucked in the head,
he's
man.
twisted, man.
Yeah,
That Matt Jekyll's twisted, man. He's sick. He's one sick puppy, man.
yeah. So that
Routine
really works.
exploits, they're sick over there.
That works well with us. So it
Yeah.
seems to be a good match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Routine Exploits is still in its infancy as a label. I think it's more like I'd almost consider it more of like a collective at this point than a
Mm.
label, really. Because it's more just like I think Matt and whoever's like working with Routine Exploits, it's like a collaborative process, right? Just like kind of, um, it's a platform used to help promote artists that like Matt and I guess us because we're part of Routine Exploits. Like so, our friend Dave Clausen, and drummer of the Ferns when we play live. Um, I think he's putting something out through Routine Exploits. So it's like it's really just kind of a bunch of friends getting together to kind of share each other's music. It's like another incentive to promote local and good, for lack of a better word, music.
Well, and it's a good idea too, because it's he genuinely cares about helping out bands or groups or any sort of art idea that you have. So if anyone's watching and you're thinking, I would like to do a music video, but I don't have, $500 or $600, I feel like Matt's just very open to, okay, we'll do it for this amount. We just want to get it out there and help you kind of get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not to say he'll work for free.
No.
But he might. It's worth a shot.
Yeah, you can lowball Matt. It doesn't matter.
So that like clearly sort of leads into, a real sense of community, right? Like that's sort of what I'm trying to pull out of like this show is really talking about the importance of a thriving community to help foster the arts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like how, I guess how has your like community and sort of network of musicians and bands and promoters or whatever, how has that sort of helped you grow as artists?
It's helped us, like, especially in Toronto, because if real fans know that Luke and I were part of a group called the Bends back when we were in high school and university.
That's right.
Yeah. Try as we couldn't ever seem to get shows in Toronto, or if we did, it would be like our parents there and that was it. But we happened to come across some people, particularly Zoe Smith and Luke Hole, people who genuinely like music and putting on shows, and it's not necessarily about how much money they're going to get back, which is a blessing and a curse, I guess. But they're always very good at, they're just putting on a show for a show's sake, and they want to help out groups who might struggle to get on a bill or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes to mind right away, and it's just a good group of bands and groups, and also just fun promoters that like to put stuff on.
Yeah. And then even beyond Toronto, like when we were living in Hamilton and then here in Niagara, it really comes down to just like friends and like the genuine, like, I guess, love that people have for each other, like in the scene, wherever it may be. So like in Hamilton, we had like a bunch of friends. We'd be like, hey, we're putting on a show. Do you want to play? And like they were our friends first, and then you play with them. And it's the same thing here in Niagara. Like I would consider you, Brody, like a friend before, like well, you're also a peer, but like you're like it's friends first, right? And then the art kind of comes from that. So like wherever you kind of go, the friendships are kind of what lead to, it sounds so silly, I'm saying it out loud, but the friendships and like the love is kind of like what leads to
A blossom
support and like the growth of a scene and the growth of any art. Yeah, like I've made more connections like just for the band, even like as a Ferns, like if we're talking like purely from like a business point of view, like having a drink with people after a show and like talking about their ex partners or whatever, and like bitching about that, then I have like I don't know, like some like North by Northeast showcase or something, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in your scene? Like, what's your place in your scene?
Top of the heap.
No, really, where we see ourselves.
I'm just kidding. I don't. Yeah.
Bottom of the heap.
Yeah. We just catch the scraps.
whatever they'll give us.
No,
I don't know
yeah,
where
like
I
not
see
not in
us.
terms of like, like position or rank or
No,
anything.
no.
Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
I guess
that's
like
we're just used
you're
to thinking like, dog eat dog.
It's all lateral.
Yeah.
I think I don't know here in Niagara because that's like Kurt and I are both living in St. Catharines again. Um, I really don't know, especially with COVID. It's really tough thinking of like
Mm.
how you fit into a scene. I guess things are changing now that people like the world is opening up a bit more. But where we fit in, honestly, I really couldn't say.
Yeah, that's
Just
for
like just another band, I guess, who
you. Yeah,
happen to be friends with some people who are also in the art scene in St. Catharines.
that's
Um,
kind of for them to decide, I guess. To kind of push off the answer on someone else. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I just, we put out stuff and hope that people like it, and
mhm.
it's always
I,
nice if they do.
yeah, I guess as things start opening up again, I'd probably like to pay it forward, um, in the sense like for other bands in other cities who've put on shows, who've helped us get shows there, just like putting on shows ourselves. Like I've put together a few shows in the past, like in Hamilton and stuff. And so I think trying that, like doing that here in St. Catharines and like putting together shows, that could just, I think that's like the easiest answer is like, as the world opens up, is facilitating more live music, um,
Yeah.
and whatever sort of uh, cross contamination might come along with that. Like I've been to many shows where people like visual artists have put up art on the walls while bands are playing, and videographers have played behind, and there's like I'd say that's probably our place, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So making space or facilitating,
Hmm.
making space for other artists. Yeah. So what about the like the creative process? What's that like working together and writing as a duo?
Good.
It's, yeah, I like it. Next
It's really
question. No. Yeah, it's fun. Like it's always good. I mean, we haven't done it too much because we haven't been living together like for about 5 years. We just Luke was in the other room. So if I had an idea, I could just go into his room or vice versa and say, okay, this is my idea. What could I do from here? And then just kind of bounce ideas off of that. We've done it a bit since living apart. But yeah, I really like working with Luke, and I think it's very fun to have someone to collaborate with. And if you're close enough friends, you can kind of look at them and go, that part's not good, or I don't like that line. You might want to change it to make it better. And then yeah, I find it's a good collaboration.
yeah. One of us generally comes to the other with a finished song, like meaning like there's like a structure to it, and then the whoever wrote the song, the other person usually comes with the lead guitar line, um, and then one of us plays bass on it if we're recording it. Um, uh, and then on this last release we did Beats, we used a drum machine, but in the past we just used like kind of uh, this and that drum kit that we put together, like kind of single tracking each part. And either of us would do that. It like in terms of the creative process, it's very much a hash of both of our uh, talents.
Yeah. Do you find that not living together anymore has had an impact on the music that you write?
Yeah, it's
Aw.
sadder, it's
Yeah,
lonelier.
I cry myself to sleep every night.
Yeah, I think like the output probably like when it comes to creating Fern stuff, like Kurt said, we were just down the hall from each other for so long that like yo, let's like record this song. Like it would be funny to record a song about farting, and then we could just like do it. Um, but now it's like, hey, want to come over and like record a song about farting? And you're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. How
I
about
won't
Thursday? If
remember.
Thursday is no good for me, okay. Well, how about
Yeah,
Tuesday? Tuesday's no good.
Yeah, I work.
Right.
I work this day. I work that day. Before I'd be like doing it before bed, or if yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's life.
that's what all the
But
kids
it
are
has
doing.
definitely impacted the way that we write. Um, but I can kind of see like for our next release, if it is a smaller one where it's just Kurt and I, we don't have Kieran and Dave doing like a full band thing. I could see us just like having a couple songs each coming together and then uh just like taking like a weekend together to just record. I think we have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
So
but
probably
if
shouldn't be impacted too much.
yeah, if Kieran and Dave are watching, we do want to record with you guys next. So
Full
Nice.
band.
full band.
Nice. Ooh. Okay. So can you guys talk about the transition from the time as the Bends into the time as the Ferns?
Absolutely not.
I it's it was a kind of like strange time because it was basically just like we kind of just wanted a hard reset, but we wanted to keep making music together. So it was like, okay, so we're still the Bends, but we're not the Bends anymore because we don't want to make that music anymore, but we're with the same people. So we're gonna change our name because we're making new kind of music. Like before the Ferns, when we were the Bends, we were making like psychedelic kind of
It
surfy
was really,
music.
yeah, whatever we were listening to at the time, we would kind of want to write a song like that. So eventually it became kind of eclectic to listen
Yeah, there
to.
was no vision.
Like,
So when we like Kurt and I think it was, I guess it was more Kurt and I kind of started talking about making the Ferns and like having a kind of like a mission statement when it came to writing songs. So it's
Mm.
like keep it under 2.5 minutes, keep it jangly, um, don't stray too far from this genre in the sense that like you can't make a funk song, you can't like make a hardcore punk song.
psychedelic song, yeah, all
Yeah,
on the same collection of
uh, that was
songs.
kind of our mission statement where we didn't have that before. Um, so I guess the process became a little bit more uniform. And
Yeah.
then before, when it was the Bends, it was mainly Kurt writing the songs, and Kurt and I kind of just took 50-50 ownership with the Ferns uh, when it came to like the creative process slash the promotional process, where before Kurt was kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting, it kind of became more of a partnership, I think. At least I like to
Mm.
think anyways.
Yeah. No, it was definitely with the Ferns, it was more kind of defined and there was kind of a ideology behind it or kind of like a direction that we wanted to go in. Whereas the Benz, it was just us
We're
playing
just
around
having
and
fun.
yeah, just having fun. And so that was kind of, I guess, the biggest change, but otherwise it was all pretty same cast of characters relatively.
Yeah. Is the Ferns still fun to do?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Music has always been fun. I think like Kurt, it's easy to lose focus, at least for me, like when you're in a band being like, oh man, like am I gonna be successful? Like is this song
Yeah.
like worth recording? Like is it like a waste of my time? Oh man, like does anyone even care if I put this song out? And then like taking a step back and be like, who gives a hoot, man? Like it's fun for me. And I think that's always been our approach to music is like fun first, fun and friends first, and then uh, everything else happens after. We're here for the outcome, not the income, sort of thing.
Hmm.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good way of summing it up. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I love collaborating with Luke. I love playing with Kieran and Dave. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And
Do you ever find, Brody, like music can not be fun anymore? Like you ever
I
reach
think if
that?
yeah, I think if you start to take it too seriously and start to, like you said, worry about, is this going to be good enough? Is this, like you said, is this worth my time? Then it starts to feel like, like why am I putting so much effort into this, right? But yeah, if you're doing it just for pure enjoyment, you know, then it's never it never feels like work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, using it as an expression or
Yeah.
as a way to have fun or get together with friends or
It's what the best art is, man. You can tell when
yeah.
the artists are like just doing it for themselves, when it is really an extension of their, I don't know if people believe in souls or not. I do. Like an extension of your soul. Yeah. Core being, however you want to put it.
Yeah. Well, what sort of projects do you guys have coming up in the future? Is anything in the works?
We've got a show August 6th. I don't know when this is airing, but August 6th outside of the Niagara Artist Center. They've done a cool thing where they've converted a trailer into like a mini stage and they're having an outdoor show for that. So that's kind of what's in the works now. We're hoping to Luke and I have another couple batches of songs that we're aiming to record and put out, just, you know, maybe 2 or 3 or something. That's kind of concrete plans now. I know we've got another idea of going into the studio with Kieran and Dave to do something. But I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, we have a couple like lower fi demos that didn't quite make the cut for Beats that we're kind of tuning right now. And we're trying to get a physical release out of the album through Routine Exploits. Matt has a pretty nifty idea. We won't spoil it yet, but those songs we're going to include them with it as a kind of like bonus for the people that kind of want to take the time to actually purchase a physical release of the album.
Cool.
Or double EP.
Yeah, sweet. Well, looking forward to seeing what you know, what you guys end up putting out. And you know, if people check out the description of the video too, there'll be links to all your, you know, all your social media and you know, links to what's coming up in the future. So the Ferns, Kurt and Luke, thanks so much for coming on. It was great chatting with you.
Thanks for having
see you
us,
guys
Brody.
soon.
Thanks, Brody. You're the best.